right, welcome to the Team Nourished team call. It is Thursday, August the 20th, and I am thrilled to be here with you guys. In Hawaii, we have nowhere else we're allowed to be. Can't be at the beach, can't be on the hiking trails, can't be anywhere, so I'm extra thrilled that I get to be with you guys because it's like we're here hugging one another, but also not. So I am going to go ahead and screen share for our cute little slideshow. And we will get going here tonight. Play from the start. All right. So first and foremost, we always start off our team calls with recognition. I feel like we should always celebrate all the people for all the things. I am so excited about what our team is doing this month. I am excited to see some other faces on the weekly top 5 board too. It's always nice to see new faces. So congratulations to Melissa Thrift. I know she is killing it in MBF right now. Amanda Harold, congratulations. Matt at the 3rd spot there. Good job, Matt / Danielle. Sherilyn Bush, congratulations at number 4. And Brianna Grajeda, I think I said it right this week. Brianna Grajeda, congratulations as well for making it into the weekly top 5. Success Club earners, if you don't know what Success Club is, if you're watching the replay, Success Club means you get 2 points for every 1 life you help. So if you help enroll somebody with a brand new challenge pack, if you get them started on a Shakeology Home Direct or any 90 PV Home Direct, you get 2 points. And as it is Team Cup month, we are earning extra points for helping people as well. So myself at SC8, I know Carrie Summers, you announced that you're at SC6. I didn't have time to update the board, but congratulations, girl. Michelle King at SC2 and Layla Bryant at SC2. Guys, we still have, what, 10 more days of the month. So if you watched my live video in the team page this past week, you know that I'm not a fan of quitting and I am not a fan of giving up. I think it's funny because sometimes people are like, well, I didn't give up, but your actions are showing that you gave up because you're not continuing to do the things. And so be sure you check not only your heart, it hasn't given up, but also your actions, that you haven't given up in action as well. Because there is still plenty of time this month. There's still plenty of people out there left to be helped. If you don't know anybody, go walk through a Walmart. And hopefully the tools that I'm going to give you tonight about building relationships will only further to advance your ability to help others. Just a quick little rundown of rank, just in case you are unaware. Emerald is the very first level of rank here after coach. So coaches, you just signed up yesterday with your challenge pack, or maybe you've been doing this for 2 years and you just keep getting your Shaco Home Direct. You're an active coach. Congratulations. You are contributing to our team being on the road to elite. Every single active coach is somebody who is helping advance our team's full mission to be an elite team this year. If you want to become an active Emerald, that means you help enroll 2 people. It can be a U+2, which means your credit card, you're allowed to have 2 people on it. It does have to be a spouse or a significant other or a child over the age of 18 or a parent, so a direct relative, a nuclear family, if you will. But you can make yourself Emerald. I was on a call earlier this week, and Courtney Burton was on there, and she was talking about how Ashley Molstead had said, like, until other people believe in your business, you've got to build it yourself. So building yourself to Emerald is a huge way to do that. It's just pouring belief into yourself. And I believe that God and the universe, or whatever you want to call it, responds to belief. And so be sure that you are checking your own belief in yourself and your belief in your own worthiness. After that, it's active Ruby, active Diamond. Our team is pushing for 5-star diamonds. That means we need 5 active diamonds on my personally sponsored team. I know there's lots of you with lots of really big goals this year. Diamond is really where you open up your business. Emerald is kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this. Diamond is swing the doors open wide. Let's run together kind of thing. Why advance to Emerald in SC10 instead of SC5? Going back to the other slide with the SC points. SC5 gives you free leads. SC10 gives you paid leads. If you don't know what that is, you can always FAQ search it. If after you are Emerald, you do get paid a cycle bonus. So Beachbody is not a pyramid. in a sense, they call it a binary system, which means we get paid by Beachbody. We get a paycheck weekly from Beachbody. And it's $14 per cycle if you're Emerald, $18 per cycle if you're Diamond. And I know that there is an upper limit cap to that, but it's like some ridiculous number that I have not even remotely hit in the last 6 years. So I imagine you don't need to worry about it either. But you also get free clients and free commission if you choose to advance your business by hitting SC10 and SC5. You do need to be Emerald by Wednesday night and make SC5 or SC10 by the last day of the month at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So I know a lot of you guys are hustling for Team Cup and just for advancement of your own business. So be sure that you are mindful of the date and time. Why advance to Diamond? Be a leader, build a team, increase your team cycle bonus, $18, which again, that never seems like a big deal. You're like, oh, 18, that's not that much different than 14. But it truly, truly is. It adds up very quickly. And then you also get access to our leadership groups, team calls, leader calls, given the opportunity to travel with the team. Right now, I am in the works of putting together a Diamond retreat, hopefully in January timeframe, and when we're all allowed to travel a little bit more freely. So really excited about that. New Coach Must Knows, our core mission is to help people achieve their goals, enjoy a healthy, fulfilling life. That begins with you starting your Beachbody Challenge. If you are not currently engaged in a program, you better get on a program the moment we get off this call. Print yourself a calendar, hang it up in your workout room. You will never help a single person if you are not actively engaged in your own challenge. That is, I can almost always pinpoint when people are struggling in this business. It almost always goes back to their own personal journey. If they are not fully engaged in their personal journey, sharing on social media every day, sharing Transformation Tuesdays, sharing valuable content about their meals and about their healthy lifestyle, I can promise you nobody is going to join you because they don't believe that you're actually doing this. So be sure that you are engaged in your Beachbody Challenge and get results like a boss. Practice the vital behaviors. Number 1, be proof the product works every day. 2, connect, invite, and follow up. That's what tonight's team training is on, building relationships. 3, help people get results and recognize them. And actually, I want to say just a quick word about that. I don't know if Amanda, I see Layla's on the call, but Amanda Harold isn't on the call yet. Amanda and Layla have done this really cool thing recently where they have opened up a group specifically for celebrating their challengers and their coaches. So they are celebrating their financial wins. They're celebrating their weight loss goals. They're celebrating them just participating in the challenge group. Layla, I see you showing up on your social media, celebrating people and recognizing people every single day. And I'm really, really proud of you guys. That is one of the vital behaviors. So I feel like you guys should be commended for that. And then Vital 4, personal development. Again, side note, I just finished Ready to Rise by Joe Saxton. Excellent book if you guys need a recommendation, and just started Rise of the Truth Teller today. So really excited about that as well. Hit SC6, that's kind of the main goal. I feel like I sound like a broken record about that, but truthfully, that is where you begin to grow your business. If you consistently do not hit SC6 month after month after month, guess what happens to your business? It falls flat. It tanks. You have to continue to put new people in so that the energy stays up high. Advance to Emerald over and over and over again. We talk all the time on this team about how you just enroll people as coaches and you'll always hit Emerald over and over again. If you can make it your goal to hit Emerald again at minimum every single month, you'll be at Diamond before you know it. If you are within your first 3 months, you can still earn your free ticket, or your first 6 months, you can earn your free ticket to Summit. You can earn, right now, the test group opportunity is for Autumn's Control Freak for the winter time. So that is a really exciting opportunity. And then you can always log in and sign up for our Good Vibe Tribe coach training website, do the coach training, set up a getting started right call with me if you have not done that already. Couple of, I guess, announcements or whatever you want to call those. I need to move this thing. There we go. So I can see what I'm looking at here. I am going to be hosting a team-wide free coach trial starting on Monday, August the 24th. I had recently just decided I was going to do this. And I told my business partner, Jen Hines, I said, oh, I'm just going to do it the last week of the month. And she was like, oh, but that's Monday. I was like, oh, isn't that funny? The month is ending, you guys. Whether you like it or not, the end of the month is rapidly approaching. So we are going to be hosting a team-wide free coach trial. That means they are going to get a private Facebook group, a 7-day workout calendar. I have a 7-day meal plan. They're basically going to get to experience I'm going to invite them onto our team call next week. They're going to get a free sneak peek into coaching without ever having to sign up for anything. I'm going to teach things like social media. I'm going to teach things like reaching out, building connections with people. I am not advertising this publicly. What I don't want to see you do is completely change your course of direction. If you've got a good marketing plan going and you know that next week, like myself, next week you're going to be publicly inviting to your challenge group, don't switch gears and publicly invite to this. You might drop this in a post, but don't make all 5 of your posts throughout the week this. What I would rather see you do is invite people from prior sneak peeks that you have invited. Do not go in there and invite every single person. You did not bring them in there. So be sure that you identify them as the person you brought into there. Go send them a message, let them know what we're doing, invite them into the free group. I'm also going to be kind of ballsing up and inviting some people off of my chicken shit list that I've just thought would be amazing at this, and have really never bitten the bullet and invited them. So I am going to be inviting them, but again, that's privately, behind the scenes, whether in a text message or in, like DMs, whatever. So going through my invite list, being bold, asking if they've ever considered it, and if they'd like to join us for a 1-week free trial into coaching. Again, no strings attached. If they don't want to do it, that's fine, but at least they'll get valuable business building content, whether they're going to build this business or something else. The 7-day workout calendar is going to be in front of the paywall sample workouts. If you want to put them in Beachbody On Demand's free trial, go for it. I just personally find the free trial super obnoxious because then I have to do more work to cancel it to get them to enroll. Whereas if I just give them sample workouts, we can just transfer directly into excuse me, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden, directly into a challenge pack. So hopefully you guys will join me in doing that. Let me know in the comments or the, whatever this thing is called, the chat box, if you are like, yes, I want to do this and I want to step up as a leader. I know I will have lots of people. I will gladly give you admin privileges in there and get you posting and showing up as a leader as well. One other Beachbody announcement, they have launched Autumn Calabrese's new book, Lose Weight Like Crazy, Even If You Have a Crazy Life. Excuse me, you guys. Right now, it is available on Amazon and in major bookstores, but they also will be including it in the Portion Fix challenge packs come September. So that's really exciting. Very excited to read that. It will probably be my personal development for September. So very excited to see what she has to say. All right, so that is pretty much it on the announcements. Does anybody have anything else? Great, Layla, I'm glad that you will be doing the coach sneak peek as well. That'll be really fun. I will make sure that you have admin privileges, and I'll give you, I've already got all the posts taken care of, so it's going to be just like a document that I will send you, and you're going to copy and paste it. So awesome. I am very excited that you will be participating in that with us. So, oh yay, good. Carrie, you want to do it too? Well, I should probably write people's names down, huh? Hey, Amy, look at your face. Let me write people's names down here before we are, well, I'm going to do it, not just that I want to. Well, that's good. Thank you for naming it and claiming it, sister. Not just saying I want to. Okay, so Carrie, Layla, very good, very good. I will share the content with you guys. So I do not know why my voice is going out all the time. Hashtag hope it's not Corona. Okay, so let's discuss building relationships. You guys, this is one of the most undervalued pieces of content I feel like in coaching. I'll kind of start this off with a little story. This could have been the beginning of last week or the end of the week before. I opened up my Facebook, or it was, you know when it was? It was the day after. I know this exactly what day it was. So we ended, let's look at this calendar here. We ended MBF we started that on July 20th. So 1, 2, 3. We ended that on the 3rd? Yeah, the 3rd of August. So on the 3rd of August, I put together my before and afters for MBF, right? I posted them publicly on my Instagram, publicly on my Facebook, all the things. I shared all kinds in my Facebook stories, in my Instagram stories, on my Facebook posts, all kinds of MBF stuff. I even broke my own rule and I called it MBF, guys. I don't hardly ever call a workout program what it is because I don't want people Googling it and going and buying it themselves. I want them to buy it through me. But I broke my own rule. I even said, muscle burns fat, #MBF. On the morning of the 4th, I woke up and I got a message. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe I'm not being bold enough about what I'm sharing here. But what I found was there is a growing trend among small business owners. Maybe they decided to grow a business because of COVID. Yeah, no shame. That's fine. I'm happy to help somebody grow a business because of COVID and being home. Like, I think that's fantastic. But it's becoming a thing to not pay attention to what you're doing and to blanket copy paste 400 messages to your entire Facebook list without ever building a relationship, having a conversation, talking to them, looking at their page, liking or talking whatsoever. And that, I want to make abundantly clear that that is not the culture of this team. We don't do that. If you do that, stop it, please. Because if somebody like me has a conversation with you, like I did that girl, she's out of Clarksville, so funny enough, Layla. I said, who's your upline coach? I bet I know them. Sure enough, I do. And not on our team though. And I was like, I don't know how your coach trains you guys, but I try to make a big effort to teach my team to have a relationship with a person before you invite, so that you avoid embarrassing things like this. So the girl sent me a message, very blanket statement. Hey girl, hope you're having a good day. Not sure if you've seen my transformation on my Facebook page or not, but I've got a new virtual boot camp starting up August the 7th. Can I send you more information? I mean, it literally looked like something I would tell you guys to send. And I was like, I said, LOL, huh? ? And she was like, yeah, I just finished a 3-week workout program and thought you might really like it. And I was like, sweetheart, we do the same thing. Like, literally the same thing. Not like maybe kind of sort of the same thing, but like literally the exact same workout program. And so, of course, I'm not trying to be a jerk to the girl, but I do want to take the opportunity to educate in a kind and graceful way if I can. And so, I mean, there have been times where I have not educated in a kind and graceful way because I got a big old Southern mouth and I can be not so nice sometimes. But this time I felt the Holy Spirit come into my body and say, no, you're going to be kind and educate. And so she said, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. And I was like, yeah, me either, because you literally liked the post. Like we're not paying attention here, guys. And so then, again, I took the opportunity. I was like, I said, who's your coach? Again, I'm familiar with the team. It's fine. They're a nice team, whatever. But I said, you might want to pass this along to whoever's doing your team trainings. I find that forming and building a relationship almost always leads to a successful coaching practice versus spamming your friends and being the one that nobody really wanted you to be to begin with. And so that's what I really want us to like push forward in our team, not at the detriment of helping people, because I think that there tends to be two separate. I was having a conversation with some other coaches when I was talking about how I was going to present this to you guys. I said I feel like there's two separate kinds of or groups of people in here, and there's a huge middle that you can hang out in, a huge one. But most of the time, people are extremists, right? They're either one way 99.9% of the time, or the other way 99.9% of the time. So one of the ways is spam, 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 right? Like, I don't want to make any kind of human connection. I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want to build a relationship whatsoever, because that takes out a piece of me. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that part tonight. But then there's the other side too, which is relationship, chit chat all day long, never get to the point. So you've spent 2 years talking to this girl and have never once invited her. She signed up with me, or somebody who will step up and invite. So it's important that you exist somewhere in that bridge. Most people, when they're starting, they're hanging out closer. I want to get you, like, if this is a literal bridge here, I want to get you to about here, especially as you're rapidly building your business. Slower building businesses are going to exist. Like, again, if these are our two rocks, slower building businesses are going to be hanging out way down here. There's either fear associated with invitations, or, I mean, I'll just call a spade a spade. Maybe it's laziness. Maybe it's entitlement. You think people are just going to flock to you because you posted a workout photo, like somewhere in there. But most of the time, I want to get you in this quadrant right here. So where you're not spamming, but you're not building so much of a physical relationship that you can't feel free to invite them to something. Somewhere closer to that middle over there. So that's kind of my purpose in doing this. I feel like maybe in the comments, I would love to know where on that bridge you feel like you are. Are you hanging out in camp 1 over here, camp 2? Maybe you're in the bridge, somewhere in the middle. Like, maybe you feel like you actually have a really good rhythm. I would love to hear about that. But I think that it's really important that if this subject is making you cringe, like when I tell you that it's time for you to learn how to build a relationship, if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't like that. I don't like relationships. I really don't even like people. You kind of have to examine where you are in that and why that might be. Because again, you guys know me and you know my heart, you know that I'm always going to attach the significance to the why is that happening? What mindset, what self-limiting belief is holding you back from moving yourself or your business or whatever it is forward because you aren't attending to it? So if that's making you cringe, you might want to consider that there's some self-limiting beliefs, maybe some stuff about trust, like I can't trust other people. I can't be vulnerable around other people. Other people always screw me over. I don't have any friends. There's a lot of variance in self-limiting beliefs and old stories that need to be attended to. And that's, I mean, this call is not necessarily about mindset, but that's the kind of stuff that we need to start using, those mindset tips and tricks that you and I have been talking about, maybe in our one-on-one calls or maybe on the team calls, where you start challenging those beliefs and figuring out the root of that, healing from that so that you can then move forward. Because a lot of times you can't move forward in relationships if you aren't willing to attend to the healing, because it was most likely damaged by a person, right? Like, we're all damaged by people throughout all of our days. And so it's important that you attend to that. We were made for relationships, you guys. We were not made to live alone. I assume I don't need to tell you that, since you're on a team and you chose to spend your Thursday evening on a team call. I feel like I don't need to tell you that we were made for relationships. But it is really important that you lead with your heart and that you're authentic in this. There's a lot, you can Google them. I'm not going to sit here and go through forming, but when I started coaching 6 years ago-ish, there was a huge attentiveness in Beachbody as a whole, and I feel like in network marketing as a whole, informing. So FORMING. So you form people before you invite them. So I feel like with the advent of Instagram stories, you don't have to do quite as much if you're inviting from that pool of people. But I think people took the technique that works with Instagram stories into Facebook in their posts, and it doesn't translate the same way. People want you to be interested in them, not, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me, I'm interesting. There's a saying that says, be more interested than you are interesting, or be more focused on being interested than you are in being interesting. In a social media climate, it's really easy to focus your attention on being interesting, having a good post, having good content, being value, sharing value, that all of that's important. But if you place so much emphasis on that then you begin to expect other people to just flock to you, it's going to be August 31st and your behind's going to be sitting at SC0 and you will have helped nobody. So you're not able to coach if you don't have people to coach. So be sure that you engage with other people. So like, how do you do that? We're going to talk about two different segments tonight. We're going to talk about in your warm market, which means people you already know. So people that have been following you for a while, people that you work with, people from your high school, people from the people that you know. Maybe you don't know them intimately, but like, these people. If you saw them at Walmart, you'd say hi, right? So there's that quadrant of people or group of people. And then there's also people you don't know. And that's the people that we're going to spend some time talking about that too, because that's also a part of your job in networking. Like, I realize we're coaches. I realize we're social media influencers or whatever the heck you want to call yourself. You're also a networker. All networking means is you're connecting someone with something to solve their problem. And so you are a networker. So you have to continue to build your network in order to continue networking. You will run out of people to talk to if you do not expand your network in proportion to the amount of people that you are inviting. So if you are inviting 5 people a day, then you need to build, like, we'll just call that, we'll say that's your standard. If you're inviting 5 people a day, you need to build your network by 5 people a day. If you are inviting 200 people in a month, you better be building your network 200 people in a month. And that doesn't mean you sent 200 friend requests or you followed 200 people on Instagram. That means that they and you are now connected to one another, meaning they are a Facebook friend, meaning they are a new Instagram follower of yours, because you can follow all the people you want, but if they don't follow you back, or if they aren't watching your stories, you don't have a connection, okay? You have to build that connection. And you do that by leading with your heart and being genuine in loving other people. And I know that sometimes that's hard. Like, don't get me wrong, there's lots of times where I really don't want to like other people very much, especially when, maybe I don't resonate with them very much. I think about at the level of business that I'm growing at, I have to invest financially in networking and in growing. And so that means that I run ads once a month to help expand my network beyond where I'm like have enough hours in the day, right? Sometimes those ads, you guys, don't get me people that I try really hard to find a connective piece of tissue there. And sometimes it's just not there, guys. Like, homegirl likes twisty braids and CBD and Rasta music and sitting in the quad staring at clouds for 8 hours a day. I'm sure she's a very lovely person. I don't have a lot to talk about with you. Like, I can fake some stuff for a little bit, but at some point, it's gonna, like, my heart is gonna be exposed there because it's not an authentic connection. So do your best when you're connecting with people to look for people that you actually enjoy what they're doing or their content, or you have some form of connection. And don't be afraid to unfriend or unfollow people that are not your people. It doesn't matter. I mean, unless they're like living in your house and it would become like a thing at family dinners, it's fine. Like really, really, really it's fine. It's just social media. You are building a business. So it's important that you treat yourself like a business. So anyways, with all of that said, when you have your warm market in place, right? Like we all have Facebook followers, Instagram followers, people that are liking our posts like that. Like, I mean, I assume I'm kind of preaching to the choir right here, knowing who is on this call specifically. Like I know that each of you is sharing your journey. It's more the people who maybe aren't on this call, or maybe it's the people that you're leading or the people that are watching the replay. If you aren't sharing your journey every single day, it's really difficult to get to an invitation. You can get to the connection. You can get to the conversation where you're talking and you're, oh my God, I love golden retrievers too. How old is Fluffy? He's so adorable. My golden retriever loves to swim in the ocean too. Like blah, 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 blah. But if you aren't posting about your workouts or your food or some kind of healthy living, it's really hard not to sound like an awkward Sally dropping an invitation in. It's really easy if you've been doing your due diligence every day and posting and sharing your journey authentically and showing up on social media in your stories or whatever else, to easily transition into, hey, I don't know if you saw my story earlier today or not, but I'm just opening up early enrollment for our September boot camp. Can I send you some more information on that? Easy peasy. We've moved from build relationship back over that bridge into let's get to the point. But if you start over here, unless you have, and I don't, and I assume none of you guys do either, unless you have some like 6 million followers that will literally buy anything you post on your Instagram, you aren't gonna get it, okay? So start here, build to here. And I think a really easy thing for people to fall into is, I'm forming, I'm building relationships. That goes back into that camp that hangs out on that other side of the bridge way too long, right? You know, I'll invite them when I get there, when there's an opening. Friend, be bold. Like there's no time like the present. So you don't have to spend, even with cold market, and I put air quotes over cold market because your point is to transfer cold market into warm market, but isn't to sit there for weeks and months and years with that person. It's to get there and then invite. They say no. So what? Invite them next month. Continue to build that relationship. Continue to build trust with that person. Continue to talk to them about things that aren't about Beachbody. And then you've earned the right to invite them again. But if every single month, and trust me, I am guilty just like anyone else is, where I will send an invitation, say July 15th. They didn't answer. I didn't build a relationship. I did nothing. It's August 15th. Send the exact same message. September 15th, exact same message. October 15th, exact same message. Guys, that's not going to get you anywhere. Funny enough, I was with a girlfriend in Tennessee. This would have been like 2 years ago. And we were working on some stuff for MOPS. She was in my MOPS group. She's not a coach on this team. I think she's still a client of mine, like a free client of mine. But like, while we were sitting there, there was another coach from the Clarksville area that messaged her. And she, like, you know, we're on my friend's computer and I see it pop up. I know the person, I know the coach. Like, I knew a lot of the coaches there because I used to run the Super Saturdays. It popped up. I literally saw Karen, or yeah, her name's Karen, literally saw Karen click the X button, and she looked at me and she goes, that girl invites me every single month. That's the only time I ever hear from her. And I was like, oh, I was like, yeah, that stinks, doesn't it? And just quickly like moved right along, because guys, we don't want to be that person. And I know that I've been that person, but it's one thing to like beat yourself up for it. It's another thing to just take action. So what do you do to take action? Watch their stories. Don't sit around and watch just other coaches' stories. And again, preaching to the choir here, I do it a lot when I'm bored and when I'm tired. I watch other coaches' stories. And I think that that's building my business. Guess what? It's not. Watching Aaron Hopkins' story, watching my story, watching Cece's story, watching Layla's story does not build your business. Makes you feel good. makes you feel like you did something for work, did not build your business. Do that in your spare time. That is not business building activities. So go to those people's stories, watch their stories, go to their Facebook page. Don't just like, interact. There's a whole theory of like, I don't know, business called CCQing, and it's compliment, comment, question. So compliment the person on a post, comment on a post, ask a question on a post. You can also do this in stories, but CCQing people is in that marketing calendar where that week is that I have built in for building relationships. That's what I'm doing. I am all over somebody that I like, somebody that I want to pursue as a client or as a coach on our team. I am all over their social media. I am commenting, I'm liking, I'm questioning, I'm having conversations in the back end, I'm watching their stories. We are interacting. We are building a relationship, because that, when I go to invite, isn't awkward and salesy. It's just the natural next step. If they say, no, not right now, I'm really into my Peloton bike. Sweet, tell me about your Peloton bike. Lots of people have those, God almighty. Like, what's your favorite thing about it? Like, engage them in more conversation, because just because they said no today does not mean they will say no 6 months from now when they can no longer afford the Peloton payments and they come and repossess the Peloton. Okay? Like, be the person that stuck around building a relationship. This should not take hours and hours and hours of your time. Like, I would say you need to be doing this for half an hour, probably 20 minutes. Don't sit around and do this all day long, because then again, if you don't get to the point of inviting, again, you're going to sit on August 31st pissed off because you hit SE0 again, you know? So be sure that you get to the point. As far as expanding your network and making your cold market warm, let me make sure. Okay, I want to like talk about expanding your network, but before I do that, there's a couple other little like sound bites I want to put in your ear about building relationships with people. Be a real human. If you would not like the message that you got, don't send it. My biggest advice is talk to people how you want to be talked to. So if you don't want to be talked to with hey girls and you find those annoying, don't send people hey girls. Send hey Megan, hey Layla, hey Paige, or skip the hey altogether. What is that? Comment on their story. You don't have to always sound like you don't have to sound like a robot ever. Sound like a real person. Treat them like a real person. That was another thing that I've used this example a lot in team trainings, but be sure that you are aware of big events in their life. Guys, I think about when someone is getting married, it consumes them, right? Like Carrie, you just got married last year. I remember all you talked about for months was dresses and flowers and venues and engagement photos, and it took up a lot of space in your mind. If you weren't a Beachbody coach and I was talking to you and I never once mentioned your wedding, do you think that we would have a connection? No, because you want to talk about the thing that they are interested in. So if that's her wedding, ask, how's the wedding planning going? Make a connection with that person. Again, I know I share this a lot, but like if someone has posted a recent death or a death of a pet, don't pass that by. It affects their heart. And so if you go straight for the ask and you don't attend to the matters that they care about in their heart, it will never reflect well on you. Say, hey, I saw your post about your dog. I am so sorry to hear that. I am sure, you know, if you have a relatable story, say, I lost my dog Ashland last June. I know how much my heart hurt. I'm thinking about you. Don't say, I know how much my heart hurt and I'm thinking about you. Do you want to join my group? Leave it at that. And then give it, you know, a couple days, continue conversation, and then ask. A really good example was this morning. I was doing some follow-ups, and one of the girls said no to me last month because they were going on like 3 vacations, which hashtag jealous. Like, I can't go on any vacation and I live in Hawaii. I can't even go to the beach. And I was like, hey, how was your vacation? Did you guys have a lot of fun? That's all I said. You don't have to put every single thing in your message. Just ask a question. And then when they respond, ask another question. And then when they respond, then you can say, hey, I'm getting everybody set up for my September boot camp. Did you still want early enrollment for that? Then we get right on to the point. I mean, within 5 minutes, she and I went from talking about her vacation to her telling me that she would be signing up for my boot camp, nailing down details. Like, it doesn't take long, but it's important that you start with what they care about. Because again, if you don't know that they're struggling or they're excited or whatever's happening with their kids in school, you know, it kind of makes you feel like, oh, they don't care about me. They're just trying to sell me something. And we know that you don't feel that way, but we don't want us as a team coming off that way. And then, yeah, it's just a simple formula that when done, consistency always yields results. And that's CCQing. There was a technique, I guess you would call it, a while back. I don't like it because I feel like once I knew the technique, it made me really mad. But it was like the 5-3-1 or something like that, like, or the 5-1 or 5-3, or I don't know. But it's basically, you go to somebody's Instagram page, you don't follow them, you like, doesn't matter what it is, you just like. So fill up their little heart section with your cute little name. Team Nourished liked this post. Team Nourished liked this post. Team Nourished liked this post. And then add a random comment. Oh my God, girl, that poke bowl looks so yummy. Like, that yields no results. That does not make me want to go follow you. I'm like, it might get eyes on my page, don't get me wrong. And I think that that's really the point. But I'm here for genuine connection. I'm not just here for a bunch of likes. And so I would encourage you guys not to follow that trend of just being about getting a bunch of likes. I would encourage you to actually build relationships. So CCQing is a really good way to do that. There is also, I know a lot of people are concerned with when they're building an Instagram following, you kind of don't want your following to be higher than your followers. So like in the beginning, your following is going to be higher than your followers, right? The people that are following you. But the idea is that your following gets smaller, your followers get bigger. That's typically like, I don't know, that's typically an indication that people like what you're doing as far as like on social media. And so you can go in, I'd have to Google how to do it again, but you can go in and see who is, like the least interactive on your page, and you can go through and unfollow those people. So don't be afraid to follow people. Like, I understand the theory of thought that says like, well, you don't want to just go and follow a bunch of people, but if you follow them, and maybe you like 3 of their things and you CCQ them, you compliment them, you comment on it, and you ask a question, they're more likely to believe that you actually are interested in them instead of, you know, oh, there's this spam bot that's just liking a bunch of stuff. I mean, that's such a common thing now that I think even we see it happen to us and we're like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks, likes for clicks or whatever. Like, that's not a thing anymore. So don't do that. And then as far as growing your network, I mean, I've done full on hour-long team trainings on this, on both our call, I've done it on several different coaches calls, on Team Empire's call. I'm happy to repost my team training on it. But guys, it's really easy. Like, be interested in other people. So if you are in a group on Facebook, interact some in the group before you send that person a friend request. If you go to an event, again, like, can't do that in Hawaii anymore, but if you are somewhere on the mainland where you're allowed to go to an event, friend all the people from that event, because you will probably run into them. You can always unfriend them. It doesn't matter. If you get a message, it's like, hey, how do I know you? Then you have a really easy, oh yeah, well, we both went to the Macaroni Kid, what was that thing I did? Like speed dating. Oh, okay, cool. That's all it takes. And then, so I do two things that have really, really helped me that I want to pass along to you guys as far as not just gaining new people into my network, but engaging those people. On Instagram, I go to, like, if I like a person on Instagram and I think, ooh, that would be a good coach, or ooh, she might be interested in our boot camp. I go to, here, I'll, like Carrie, there you are. You're so cute. I go to this and I click the little flaggy thing, and then I click add to collection. And I have a collection, but you can click add. There's like a little plus sign there. And then I'm going to call the collection coach prospects, you know. And then that way it's not about that post, it's about that person. That will always drive me back. So when I am continuing to build relationships, I go back to that collection on Instagram and I click through and I see what they've posted recently. I watch their stories. I CCQ them again. If they have not interacted back with me, I do it again, because guys, not everybody's on their Facebooks. Like, some people don't get notifications. They don't see it. So do it again. I mean, not like the next day, but give it a week, give it 2 weeks, and then do it again. On Facebook, you can also do that by creating friends lists. I will screen share really quick. Well, I say that you can do that. Now that Facebook is all jimmy jacked up again and I have to relearn how to do all of Facebook, this might get confusing. But you can always go to your friends, and then you can, where is it? There's a whole thing in here where you can add them to a list. So anyways, like say Cece, I can go to her and I can maybe edit friends list. Yeah, here we go. I can edit friends list. So I can add her to coaches, or I could add her to coach prospects. So then when I'm ready to start interacting with those people, I literally cannot find anything on this Facebook anymore. This is crazy. I can go to my friends list and I can go to wherever it is with coaches. I don't know how you find that anymore. You used to be able to just, I don't know, I'd have to figure it out again, but you can add them to a list on Facebook. Just Google it. That's my expert advice for the night, because you can add people to friends lists, and then it's a quicker process for you to recall, so you're not keeping a physical list of people that you really haven't gotten into a discussion with. I think that would be really helpful, especially if you're inviting a lot. Like for me, I do batch inviting. So when I invite 50 to 100 to 200 people, a lot of times I'm not sitting there writing them all down. I just like their last post and put them into a collection. And then I can go back through that collection and touch base with each of those people. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm gonna check the chat. Yeah, Layla, you have trouble with moving from building the relationship to the actual invite. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a really common problem. It's certainly not uncommon. Like I said, most people do one or the other. And that smooth transition, it just takes practice. I mean, you just have to keep trying it and keep doing it. It doesn't come naturally for most people. Relationship building is not something that's taught in high school. I think sometimes it comes as a byproduct of being social in high school, but if you weren't super social in high school and maybe had a built-in friends group in softball and you didn't have to actively like go out and seek new friends, it probably isn't natural to you. So don't be shy about knowing that you need to improve in that area. Maybe get some personal development books in that area where like How to Win Friends and Influence People is a really good book. I was gonna say, I think I have a couple, I can put some other PD stuff in there, but I mean, really just Google like personal development on building relationships or whatever it is, whatever aspect of it that it is that you need help in that transition. And there's podcasts, I'm sure there's all kinds of stuff. Channing, I probably do too much inviting and not, oh, that's Megan, and not enough relationship building about what's I mean, you and me both, sister, when you're doing 50, 100, 200 invites, it's hard. But that's why setting aside blocks of time dedicated for just building relationships is really important to me. So like all of those people that you have on your invitation list right now, my recommendation is get to your number, like 200, whatever you had set 200 as your number for the month, right? And then start at the top and go back and build relationships with every single one of those people. Don't talk to them about Beachbody. Don't talk to them about their health. Talk to them about the cat. Talk to them about going back to school or homeschool or whatever. But build a relationship with that same group of people so that when you go to follow up, you've actually started to build a little bit of trust there. Because so much of this business is built around trust and relationships. And I will always go to someone I trust over some random girl who just messages me on Instagram kind of thing. And that really is done by consistency in social media. I preach it constantly because it's important. Consistency in social media, building relationships, and expanding your network, and just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So that's it for the, Amy, you said ditto, Layla. Yeah. And I think a lot of that comes from fear. Like, if I can be straight up, I think a lot of it comes from fear. You don't want to impose. You don't want to go for the ask. Maybe you just don't want to be told no. Like, maybe that's a thing. There was a passage in the book that I was just reading. I just finished it today. It's so good, you guys. The Joe Saxton book, Ready to Rise. It is so, so good. But it's at the very end there. And I might have, so I don't know if you know this about Audible, but when you're listening, if there's a part that you really like, this is really hard with the light. There's a little thing right here at the bottom that says clip, and it clips 30-second segments before and behind of where you were reading. And then you can go back to the clips of the book and like, oh God, shush. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, so then you just go up to that little thing at the top there and then scroll down here and it says clips and bookmarks. And so you can see kind of, there we go, how many clips I have from that book, guys. It was so, so, so good. And it breaks it down by chapter. So it tells you like, oh, in chapter 5, say yes to who you want, blah, blah, blah. And it has like a little snippet, like humility with our gifts. But at the very end, she was talking about, the whole chapter was on building your village and how that's essentially what we're doing here is we're building our village. And it's really hard for women, especially, number one, to ask for help. And that's what this feels like. And number two, she talks about if there's any financial piece of it, we like immediately shut down. Oh, I don't want to ask. Because we as women know the financial struggles that our families are going through, like in our own homes. So we automatically put that story on somebody else. Well, I know that I'm struggling because we had to replace our brakes, tires, rotors, put our kids in private school, pay for transmission services that I didn't even know we were doing. Therefore, Layla must not have any money either. Therefore, I will not ask Layla. I don't know Layla's finances. I don't know what she's willing to pay money for. Like, I genuinely don't know. So we have to stop putting our story in other people's mouths and just build the relationship and go for the ask. Some of my most, like, it's so funny. There have been people throughout my coaching time where I've invited them and I'm like, I know for a dang fact, because like I used to teach nutrition in the public school system in Clarksville for Title I schools. And I used to teach low-income families how to use their SNAP benefits and their WIC benefits for fresh and whole food, right? And so I know that these people are in those programs because they are in the low-income category, okay? So it's not like me just assuming they are. Like, I physically know that they are. They still signed up with me for a challenge pack. I don't tell them what to do with their money. It still can be a part of their grocery budget. Like, I'd rather them be buying my challenge pack than out there buying $600 worth of craft supplies because they got their monthly check, you know, like I'd rather them at least be doing something healthy. So don't ever not ask because you think someone else's financial situation is, or maybe you even know, like their money and their budgeting is not your business. And, you know, for me, this has the opportunity, whether they want to take it or not is up to them, of actually returning money to them if they wanted to lean into the business opportunity part of this. So it's not like that can't be done too. And this could completely, I think of like Danielle Natoni, she has one of the most powerful stories. And she talked about in her first week of coaching where she would stand at the gas pump and like, I mean, I feel like we've all been there at some point, right? Where you got like 20 bucks and you're like clicking, like, don't go over, don't go over, don't go over. Like she couldn't even put a full tank of gas in her car because she had that little of a money. And Beachbody completely changed that. I mean, Josh Spencer was living in his car and homeless when he started this. Like there's a lot to gain here if you choose to lean in and be a boss and take care of your shit, you know, or you can not and just blame it on the whole world that you didn't ever get that chance, you know, when it's sitting directly in front of you. All we can do is offer that to people. So does anybody have any questions or takeaways? We have a few more minutes and we can go over if we need to. We can awkwardly sit in silence. It's always like the most awkward part of our call. Somebody needs to speak. Say where we can end. So don't forget, if you are going to be doing the free trial to coach sneak peeking, please, I know Layla and Carrie, you guys let me know, but if anybody else wants to do it, that is fine. I will probably have you guys go in and kind of give a little micro version of your coaching story in general as well during that. It is not going to be, let me reiterate, it is not going to be held in the Women in Wellness Influencers page. I'm going to be opening up a new Facebook group for it because I'm not extending this offer to everybody in there. Like I just don't have the time and energy to deal with people who aren't really going to be interested in doing this. But I've been having a lot of conversations from that group behind the scenes. And I think a lot of it is just fear of like, well, I really don't know what that is. And so I got access to a template that's like a free trial of coaching. And so we're going to give this a shot this month. See how it goes. Picture. Megan, you didn't have to remind me. All right. Smile. Hold on. Look there. Oh, that's ugly. All right. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Okay. Very cute. I love her, you guys, and I will talk to you all later. Bye. Good night.